Yes, Axolotls, it's YouTube time. It's YouTube time. We got to talk about Alex Jones potentially dealing with perjury. That's a thing we have to do. Is Timerkin more of a swimming trunks wearer or a Speedo wearer? I think he's a... Honestly, I think he'd be a Speedo wearer. Honestly. Truth be told. That's a terrifying question, Mathematical Cabbage. With probably terrifying answers. But let's go ahead and take a look at the fan art section, and then we'll get into this bit here. So the first one we have here is from Kitan. That I like drawing hot villain ladies, so have some evil alternate universe palette swapped Suris. Oh dear, it's even blonde. Volpine Tyrant, thank you very much for the 15 bits. Bacon Mutt, what the fuck is wrong with you? 50,001 channel points spent on making me say something that I'm going to refuse. I have to sneeze also, apparently. You sent that and it made me sneeze. Correlation equals causation. It has to be. You redeemed it, and now I'm screwed. Fine, Bacon Mutt. For 50,001 channel points. Oh, well. Oh, well. And Axolotl Cream, thank you very much for your channel point throwing of... Oh, well. Okay. That's enough of that. Let's get into the next bit of fan art. This one is from Lexi the Mistress. No context given, but it looks... fucking adorable. I especially like the lineless look here. Very Samurai Jack. The last one we have is from a Nubian. Half human, half slime Suris. Two sides of the same Suris coin. Both agree on one thing. Ara, you fucking degenerates. Also, Tara Lynn, thank you for redeeming your points for an Ara, you fucking degen. As always, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is drop it in the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, if you haven't subscribed, liked, or checked out Patreon, you should do all of those things. That said, let's go ahead and look at the bit here. So there's a bit that went on.
One of the things that you were ordered to do in this lawsuit, you were ordered to turn over any text messages mentioning Sandy Hook, right?
Yes.
And you didn't have any. Right?
Not that we could find.
And you in fact told me in your testimony, sworn testimony before coming to this courtroom, you searched, right?
I did.
Okay. Do you remember, were you there for Mr. Schroeder's testimony?
Yes.
Okay. You remember when Owen said, the company has learned from its mistakes about Sandy Hook? You remember that?
Oh, I did hear him say that.
You agree with that?
Yeah, we've certainly learned from our mistakes, got a lot better.
Okay. Mr. Jones, I'd like to show you what's been marked as plain specific orders. You've got it upside down. That's text messages.
He tried to read it upside down. The fuck?
Between you and Paul Watson, isn't it?
Yes.
And they mentioned Sandy Hook, don't they?
Yes.
Plans to move 130 into evidence?
Any objection?
So, he doesn't have any text messages that mention Sandy Hook. But then there's messages between him and Paul Joseph Watson that mention Sandy Hook. That feels like a bad. That feels like something you messed up on a little bit, Alex. Let's see where this goes.
What's that? Show you where what?
No objection.
Plaintiff's 130 is admitted.
Can you bring up 130 for me, Melissa?
I can't read it. It's very hard to read.
Let's zoom in on the little article up in the corner, please. I'm going to walk over to this to you, so we can kind of point it. I know it's a little hard to read. You may be able to read it a little better on your screen. But this is a zoom of Mr. Watson has sent you a screenshot from Infowars.com, correct?
It appears to be.
Yeah, and it has an article here, right?
Yes.
And it says, staged. Video shows hospital using dummies in ER for coronavirus footage. Is that what it says?
I believe Which time?
Let's go to the first message from Mr. Watson. Read along with me, Mr. Jones. He says,
Jesus.
This is a video.
Sorry, Sue, what's that?
No problem. Take your time. You ready?
Yeah, this, you may not think it's a problem, but it's a real one.
Sure.
Just give me a second. All right, go ahead.
Mr. Watson says, this is a video of a medical student training to intubate. Makes us look ridiculous, suggesting this means COVID is fake. Sandy Hook all over again. I read that correctly?
Yes.
Go to the next message.
So, is that him or Paul saying that that this is Sandy Hook all over again? Which one is it? Also, I think I need to go ahead and... Do I have... No, I don't have the volume extension on here. He's choking to death on his own words. This is what I thought the Chris Chan trial would be. Did he eat too much horse dewormer? No, I think he's just legitimately sick. I don't want to make fun of the guy's sickness. I'm not going to do that. If he's legitimately sick, he's legitimately sick. I have no way of verifying if he is or not. I know there's a bunch of memes about his cough. I don't... Not the place.
What'd you tell Mr. Watson?
I get it.
Okay, so Paul Joseph Watson said it looks like it's Sandy Hook all over again.
Mr. Jones, it's true that this article is right now live on Infowars.com. I can pull it up, right?
I've never seen this text message. I guess you guys got Paul's. My phone didn't say one. So that's...
I've never seen the text message that I sent people. I mean, he's not denying that it's real. He's just never seen a text message between him and Paul Joseph Watson. Apparently.
Your phone didn't say the second.
I told you guys I gave it to the lawyers and said they drain the phone, they'd find that stuff. I don't know how my phone's...
You gave it to the lawyers. They were supposed to find it. So that's what testimony is?
No, I searched it as well. I mean, so you guys have all this stuff and you say we didn't give anything. It's
Mr.
ridiculous.
Jones, you know how an iPhone works, right? You've had iPhone text messages for several years now.
No.
What does it mean if the messages are in blue? Whose
I don't-
messages are those? Whose phone is this taken from?
I don't know whose phone's taken from.
Oh my God.
I mean, I turned the phone over and said, take the stuff off.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know whose phone that is if the messages are coming up.
You look in the very bottom below the very bottom left corner. Is that your phone number?
Yes. So you did get my text messages. And it said you didn't. Nice trick.
Yes, Mr. Jones.
Oh.
Indeed. You didn't give this text message to me. You don't know where this came from. Do you know where I got this?
No.
Mr. Jones, did you know that 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent me an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years, and when informed, did not take any steps to identify it as privileged or protect it in any way. And as of 2 days ago, it fell free and clear into my possession. And that is how I know you lied to me when you said you didn't have text messages about Sandy Hook. Did you know that?
I can barely hear him too. It's I can't really change that right now. There's an extension that I had at one point that was able to have that audio higher, but I don't have the extension anymore after I had to rebuild the computer, so I'll download it after this, so that we don't have this issue happen again. But literally just went, hey, your lawyer fucked up. Your lawyer gave me this information. I have this information during discovery, and your lawyer did not say that this was privileged information. Also, Keyblade Spirit, thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? What were you doing? Let me go ahead and give you a quick shout out. Blop. Looks like you were doing Dark Souls 2. Oh, what are you covering? The Alex Jones case right now. We're covering the Alex Jones case at the moment. And apparently Alex Jones said that like he didn't have any text messages between him and anybody involving or about Sandy Hook. And yet there are text messages that were found because they gained access to them during discovery. Big oof.
I told you the truth. This is your Perry Mason moment. I gave them my phone, and then...
Mr. Jones, you need to answer the question.
No,
Did you know this happened?
No, I didn't know this happened. But I mean, I told you I gave them the phone over.
Just
And
answer
you
the
said,
question.
you said in your deposition, you searched your phone. You said you pulled down the text, did the search function for Sandy Hook. That's what you said, Mr. Jones, correct?
And I had several different phones with this number, but I did, yeah. Well, of course, I mean, that's why you got it.
No, Mr. Jones, that's not what happened.
My lawyer sent it to you, but I'm hiding it. Okay.
Mr. Jones,
Wait.
please just answer questions. There's no question. Mr. Bankston also.
Does Alex Jones not realize that he and his lawyer are two separate people? He can hide someone and then his lawyer can hand something over. Like, that's a thing that can happen. Does he not recognize that?
So only ask questions.
Sure. Mr. Jones, in discovery, you were asked, do you have Sandy Hook text messages on your phone? And you said no, correct? You said that under oath, Mr. Jones, didn't you?
I mean, if I was mistaken, but you got the messages right there.
You know it perfectly, sir. I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. I told you, I gave in my testimony the phone to the lawyers before or whatever, and so you got my phone, but we didn't give it to you.
No, Mr. Jones. One more time. Please remember, if you need to assert Fifth Amendment, you can. You know that you can do that. But you testified under oath previously that you personally searched your phone for the phrase Sandy Hook and there were no messages. You said that under oath.
Yes.
And you lied when you said it.
No, I did not lie.
He didn't lie, and yet they pulled it up there. Now, it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that Alex Jones could have potentially searched, not found anything, and then assumed, okay, we're good. So there are the captions for the video. I mean, there are on the website itself on YouTube. How has Joe Rogan said nothing about this? Probably because, and if I would just assume, probably because Joe Rogan is more worried about just making money on his own terms on his own podcast. So he's being willfully ignorant because he's caught with his pants tied down on this. That's what it seems. There's more here, though. There's more here. Apparently, and the audio on this one's a little fucked up. We listened to it earlier, and I don't know why the audio is fucked up here. But we have a testimony during the court that we need to listen to.
My son existed.
My son existed, says Scarlett Lewis, the mother of 6-year-old Jesse Lewis, speaking directly to conspiracy theorist Alex Jones in an Austin, Texas courtroom.
Jesse was real. I am a real mom.
In an utterly unthinkable sign of our times, Scarlett Lewis makes the case that she and her dead child are real, directly to Jones.
It doesn't exist, that I'm deep state. It's just not true. I know you know that. That's the problem. I know you know that. And you keep saying it. You keep saying it. Why? Why? For money? Because you...
The answer is definitely for money. The answer is 110% for money. Why would Alex Jones lie about children who died in a school shooting? Very, very simply, money. Like, there's no... I shouldn't have to get into this. People are greedy. Most people are on some level greedy, and Alex Jones is uniquely greedy. Would you like to know how much Alex Jones makes per day during a good CPAC? Do you guys know what that number is? Take a guess. Take a guess. And if you've seen the number, he agreed to, don't say it in chat. I want guesses. I want guesses for how much money Alex Jones can make in a day during a good CPAC session. Per day. Per day, mind you. Not per year, per day. Ran the Fool says 10,000. Axolotl says 5,000. Sweet Phoenix, high bar, 230,000. Science Cousin says 50,000. Lunar Muse says 200,000. There were a couple there that said in the millions. That's a bit astronomical. Per day? Really? So, what if I told you the answer is $800,000? That's right. $800,000. He was making more per hour than most people make per year. $800,000. And I know what you're gonna say. I know what's gonna happen. Suris, that was on a good day. You can't use that as the example. What the fuck is wrong with you? Because I've seen that on Twitter. I've seen that one on Twitter. Now, mind you, the goal for this subathon is far lower than that. Because some of us live in reality with realistic, needs. Not seventh fucking, speed car needs. Not truck converted into tank to roll down the streets of Texas needs. So, 800,000 in a day. And he has said that during a CPAC week, he can make that much per day. Now, if we lowball, if we say he makes an eighth, no, not even an eighth. We could say he makes a 20th of that. But we're going to do a 16th because I can't fucking count. That'd be 50,000 a day. 800,000 in US dollars. Yes, he lives in the United States. That he lives in the United States. So that is United States currency. Why would Alex Jones go on the internet and lie about people all the time? Put simply, it makes him money. It makes him money. That's the reason. Full stop. Speaking of money, Lady Howl, thank you for gifting 5 community subs. Holy shit. Thank you so very much for that. Can you imagine for a moment what you could do with 50,000 a month? Let alone a day, but a month. What could you do with that kind of money? Would you even know what the fuck debt was? Would you be in debt? Probably the fuck not. I can't think. I can't even fathom having that much money in my hand in one moment, let alone in any, quick amount of time. I said you'd buy a house and a car. Yeah, you would. If you could make that much in a month, in 2 months, you're buying a pretty okay house with a pretty good car and still paying all of your bills from before. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. This means that even if Alex Jones gets fined for all of this stuff, he will probably still be financially fine. If he gets fined $150 million, which is what is being sought out, by some parents during this. 150 million. You know how fast he can make 150 million? In about a year. He can make that back in about a year. He'll be fine. But let's go ahead and continue with
You made a lot of money while you said it. I know you're... I mean... I know you believe me. And yet you're gonna leave this courthouse and you're gonna say it again on your show. You're saying no. You just did it.
On his show today, he raised questions about both Scarlett Lewis and the boy's father, who are seeking up to $150 million in damages.
He is being manipulated by some very bad people. But I'll just say, because I gotta be honest, he's slow, okay? And his ex-wife is not.
The man Jones is calling slow and manipulated, Jesse Lewis's father, Neil Heslin.
I was blessed with him for 6.5 years. He's been gone 1.5 times. But I cherish those days. Those years. With Jesse.
In all, families of 7 victims and 1 FBI agent have successfully sued Alex Jones for defamation in 3 different trials taking place in both Texas and Connecticut.
I do.
Jones testified he was simply trying to get answers to questions that others were asking.
I never intentionally tried to hurt you. I never even said your name until this case came to court. I didn't even...
He never said her name until the case came to court. But the victims of the shooting were public knowledge, which means the people and the families ended up becoming public knowledge, which means fans of Alex Jones, in their deranged mad cacophony, would still go and harass the Sandy Hook victims and their families. A thing that happened repeatedly. Do you want to know one of the people who also harassed people after a school shooting? Do you want to know one of the biggest names who harassed people after a school shooting? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Because it always comes back to her, doesn't it? It always does. But Greene did the exact same shit. You know why she did it? She's buddy-buddy with Alex fucking Jones. She is a fan of Alex Jones. We have a fan of Alex Jones representing me in my district here in Georgia. You know, great. This is a man, in my opinion, who doesn't care about consequences, and he's not actually sorry about the shit that he did. Because he only, even after being presented evidence, mounting evidence, over the course of several years that what he was saying was a lie, he didn't stop saying Sandy Hook was a false flag or was synthetic until he was pressed to do so in a court of law.
I don't really know who you were until a couple years ago when all this started up. The internet had a lot of questions. I had questions.
Based on a separate legal filing, families of Sandy Hook victims allege Jones is using bankruptcy laws to shield tens of millions of dollars from any possible liability. Miguel Marquez, CNN, New York.
Sorry, I'm muted again. I don't know how that happened. Before we continue, there's more we need to cover as well here. Because it turns out that Alex Jones, in his infinite wisdom, decided to say some interesting things about his judge. You know, the judge that is presiding over his trial. She may get the boot. Did you see what happened in Kansas? No, I didn't. But let's go ahead and play that bit.
So that's why the judge is rigging the court proceeding to make sure that the script, this is literally a script gets told in a certain way for future audiences.
That man's name is Robert Barnes?
Yes.
Okay. That's InfoWars?
Yes.
He was hosting your show on the 29th?
Yes.
Well, you were on the show for part of the 29th, right? You were in the courtroom part of it, on your show part of it.
I believe so.
Okay. And Mr. Barnes, he's a frequent anchor on InfoWars?
He's been a frequent guest for about 6 years or so.
He's also represented you in this case as an attorney?
Yes.
Okay. You say, Mr. Jones, that you're taking these court proceedings seriously. You're approaching them in good faith. But the truth of the matter is, you've been broadcasting repeatedly a picture of our judge on fire, haven't you?
Objection compound, Your Honor.
No.
You have to wait till the court moves.
Oh.
Overruled. There was a statement and then a question.
Mr. Jones, I'm going to hand you what I've marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit 129. That's from your show, isn't it?
That's Justice on Fire.
Huh, okay. That's from your show, isn't it?
Yes, I haven't seen this.
And you've been running this video repeatedly, haven't you?
No, I've not been there all the time.
You haven't been there a lot of the time. You've been there every day this last week, haven't you? Every single day.
No, I taped some of the shows. No, I've been there today.
Your Honor, I'd like to move 129 into evidence.
Jesus fucking Christ. It's kind of insane. Just watching, like, it is true that you can tape a lot of your stuff and put it up. Like, you know, obviously, when I put stuff on YouTube, I'll do a lot of it here in bulk, and then it'll go up on YouTube when it can. But let's go ahead and see what the actual evidence presented here is.
Is this impeachment evidence? Is this I'm not exactly sure what Mr. Bankston wants to do with.
I think he wants to impeach Mr. Jones with it.
Does he want to introduce it? Is it just to show to the jury, or does he want it to
No, I
go
think
into evidence?
I'm first moving
moved
to
it
it as
into
evidence.
evidence. He's moving that it be accepted into evidence. Do you have an objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the legal objection?
401, 403.
Can I see it, please?
Yes, you may, Your Honor.
The suspense.
Plaintiff's 129 is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can you display 129? Do you have the ability? The person on the left of this image is our judge, correct?
Yes.
The person on the right is another judge you don't like, right?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things, you can take that down. One of the things you've been talking about a lot recently on your...
Before we get into that, before we get into things he's been talking about a lot, why would you be floating that image around constantly? That, like, why would you be doing this? Isn't this like digging digging yourself a giant fucking grave? Isn't this digging yourself a hole as far as the case is concerned? Like, why? Are his brain cells just not functioning? Is that what's going on there? Let's continue.
Recently on your show, even within the past couple months, is your allegation that government officials are aiding in pedophilia, child trafficking, and the grooming of children, right?
You mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the Clintons?
Sure, if that's a yes. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And on Thursday, you and InfoWars started connecting those allegations to our judge, didn't you?
No.
In fact, Mr. Jones, you're telling the world not to believe what happens in this courtroom because the judge worked with Child Protective Services, who you say is involved with pedophilia and child trafficking, correct?
Not all of it, but it's the Texas Youth Commission got caught doing it a lot. There's been a lot of that here.
I'm not asking you that, Mr. Jones. I'm asking you, you're telling the world not to believe what's happened in this trial because this judge is involved with CPS, who is working with child traffickers and pedophilia, correct?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not what he's saying. Then they're gonna play a clip, and we're gonna see what he's actually saying.
Your Honor, at this time, we would like to show a clip from Mr. Jones' show on Thursday where those words are said.
For impeachment
For
purposes?
impeachment purposes, yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to hear the clip.
All right. Do we have a system or just the, okay.
Okay, so they're gonna go back and listen to the clip. We're gonna move to where the clip actually gets played.
Improper. This is impeachment on a collateral matter. Not appropriate to get into improper impeachment.
Well, those are two different objections and a statement. So is it impeachment on a collateral matter or an improper impeachment?
It is an improper impeachment because it is on a collateral matter.
And the collateral matter is what he's saying about me.
Correct.
And the question is about whether he's taking this seriously.
Correct.
Overruled.
Thank you. This time, we show PDX 34.
Judge Maya Gamble comes from CPS, who has been exposed for human trafficking and working with pedophiles.
That's what you mean when you say you're taking this seriously.
Oh my fucking god. What the fuck? Yeah, that's defaming the judge. That's defaming your judge. What the fucking hell? What the fuck are you doing, Alex? Oh shit, yeah, there are ads there. Something something DDLG Playground, something something 10% off. Coupon code Suris. I'm continuing the video.
I take this as serious as cancer. And, I mean, I don't know, you show somebody else's clip that they're always a few seconds long. Why don't you play the whole thing?
Mr. Jones, that's not someone else's clip, is it?
Well, I didn't direct it or produce it, what I'm saying. I mean,
You
it's-
certainly published it.
I'm not standing behind it. I have to see the full thing.
So you don't stand by the things you publish about our judge on your show repeatedly, day after
No, I
day.
said I don't not stand behind it. I need to see not just 5-second clips.
Well, we can talk about what you said before that.
Can you
and
play,
after.
how long's the clip? Can you play the whole clip?
So hold on. Even if you play the whole thing though, how's it going to recontextualize what you said? Well, you said, but what was showed on your show? How does it recontextualize that? What is a way that you can contextualize that sentence to change what its intended meaning is? What and how would you do that?
Mr. Jones, you're not asking questions today. You understand that, sir?
Oh, I thought I could ask to see a full document. If somebody showed me something, I could see what it was.
All right,
This
don't-
is a question from the lawyer, answer from the witness.
Okay.
Not the other way around.
The only thing I want to ask you about is not all the other weird stuff you said in that video. I just wanted to ask you about the question that I asked you, which you said, no, I'm not saying the judge is connected to pedophile and child trafficking. This is you taking this trial seriously and in good faith? That's what this is?
It's a 5-second clip. I don't know what you've cut off or on.
Does it matter? Is there anything before and after that would make it great to show pictures of our judge on fire and telling the world she's involved in pedophile? Can you tell me the context that would occur before or after that makes that
I'm sorry.
great? Excuse me, sorry, Mr. Dubois.
I believe you. If you're only wanting to go off 5 seconds, I believe the thing is, the judge is the fire burning Lady Liberty. It's not the judge. The judge is consuming freedom.
Wouldn't you agree with me, Mr. Jones, that I sure hope some of your viewers are able to make that distinction that you just put on the air, don't you?
Object to the
All I know is-
stipulation, Your Honor.
Withdraw.
Is that I take this very
Sustained
serious.
and withdrawn, so stop.
He takes it so seriously, and yet that's the type of shit that he does. That he really wants to finish the sentence? Yeah, no, he wants the next part of that sentence said. But it doesn't change. It doesn't change anything. There was a point during this trial also where the judge said, "This is not your show." And I'm not surprised that that had to happen. So there's a time to shut the fuck up for Alex Jones. It was before he started defaming the judge. Yeah, no. I think he's going to be screwed, and I think more things are going to be levied against him during the actual case now because of this. But that's just what I think. What do you guys think in the comment section below? I think most of this speaks for itself, personally. But let me know what y'all think. As always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here.